Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is your boy, Malik motherfucking Washington, back at it again. Actually, coming back to you once again for maybe forever, maybe not. Who knows? But either way, ladies and gentlemen, I have returned to you all, and I am better than ever. I've had some pretty good experiences, bad experiences, some people who I have to cut off, some individuals who I gained in the process. I last left you all with an update telling you all that this channel was possibly going to be on a temporary sabbatical, and that for me, that I wasn't going to be on here like that, and as spoken, I wasn't on here as much. I did say, however, I would be on here intermittently due to the fact that there would be some things that would come up, some current events that would be talked about, and I would give my take on it. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I told you all that there were some positive changes that ended up happening in my life, and as a result, it was the reason why I had discontinued the channel. If you want to know what that update simply was, the update was simply that I ended up getting a new job. Unfortunately, as a result of a certain circumstance, I ended up having to resign from that job. But it wasn't because of work ethic or laziness or any shit like that. It was due to some personal things, right? That precluded me from being able to do that job. Nevertheless, from that point, I then transitioned and I got into something better, where a job reached out to me, offered me a new position, an even greater one that pays very well and gives very competitive benefits. And I'm in an even better shape than I was prior to having the previous job. So now I'm in a pretty good place right now, right? My life is coming together. Things are starting to shape up. I'm finally going to be able to spread my wings and be able to do the things that I long to do with my life, which I've been doing the things I've been longing to do with my life, but having an additional boost helps me to be able to do those things. And now I can pretty much do them now. And I'm pretty well off, especially with what I am currently being paid as we speak. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing the channel back, and I'm coming back with a vengeance. And this time, I'm going to raise hell with my words. And you probably are saying to yourself, what are you trying to get at when you say that you're going to raise hell? Are you saying you're going to burn down buildings, commit arson, burn people to death? I might burn your souls with what I might say. Who knows? Depending on if you get offended or not. But this channel is not to deliberately offend you. Of course, if you take my words to heart, it could make you think. It can make you mad. It can make you sad. It can make you happy, eccentric. Whatever emotion that gets invoked from the words that I speak to you, the truth that I might attempt to bring out that might actually be interesting for you to hear. These things might invoke all of those emotions of which you may feel as you continue to listen to me on this channel. I am coming back full-time, overtime on this channel, and I am going to be bringing a lot more content than I haven't in lieu of what I haven't been bringing in the past, because now I have time, because now I have new motivation, because now I have new purpose, and I have a new circle. But my circle is not what influenced me to come back. What influenced me to come back was all of the events that have been occurring over the course of time. And I'm not going to lie, it pisses me off seeing what's happening right now, because it's absolutely ridiculous the way everyone is acting. Missing the bigger picture, not looking at things for what they are, and not considering the blurred lines that are not simply being read or becoming more transparent as we try to figure out the indistinguishable text of which we're not reading. And I find it problematic that every time I look at a lot of these situations that are occurring, everyone is on this side and this side, but no one is really trying to converge and put things together to come up with the larger picture at hand here. I mean, we're talking about all kinds of things happening with between liberals and conservatives, the left and the right, with the rappers promoting all this you could say complicated freedom, this promotion of multi-genders, which that's been going on for a long time, but that's neither here nor there. There's quite a few things that have been happening with all of these executive orders that have been happening with Joe Biden, with the encounters of UFO, unidentified flying objects within military restricted airspace. All kinds of stuff is happening. With the juxtaposed connection between Black Lives Matter and police brutality, and how that even juxtaposes to the current push for gun control. Everything just seems very systematic lately. And it's been happening in a timely fashion. Not to mention the over emotionalism that we have in the Black community as it relates to police brutality. The aggrandizement of criminals in the Black community and not considering a lot of our actions and how they are pivotal in the cause of why we have so many encounters with the police. We never want to consider the other side, because one side is just trying to tell us one story, but we're not being considerate of the other story. But that's what I'm here for, ladies and gentlemen. I am on neither side. I am neither left nor right. I am neither conservative or liberal. I honestly don't even have a label when it comes to politics because I'm not really into politics. I'm simply a pundit of commentary. I am a person that comes from a more spiritual/religious background. Despite the fact that I'm not religious, I am more spiritual. And by being spiritual, I believe in evolution and maturation. That over time, when a human begins to make mistakes and then learn from those mistakes, that person will eventually at some point, if they want to, evolve, mature, grow up, transform. Think differently than they did when they were younger or immaturely or ignorantly. And so where I am at in my life is I decide to be mature. And by being spiritual and by being scripturally based, which I'm sure a lot of people are not, scriptural savvy. A lot of people are not even into it. Some people look at it figuratively. Others look at it literally. But it's not my concern. The literature, however you choose to look at it, it helped me to become a better man. I don't know how it helped you or how you perceive it, but it has certainly helped me. And I can't stress that enough. But here we are today. And I stand by my faith. I stand by my growth. I stand by who I am as a human being, but moreover, I stand by who I am as a man. Because I will not allow anyone to control me. I will not allow anyone to forge my destiny for me. Parents, friends, strangers, you name it. People who you come across, sure, they make up pieces of your life, but they're not there with you forever. And I'm very understanding of this. Some people you're going to outgrow, others, they're going to stick. But as far as I'm concerned, either you're an asset or a liability. And ladies and gentlemen, all I am here to do is to simply present the facts of what they are. Hopefully in a non-biased way. Hopefully in an objective way. If I come off subjective, it's simply because I come off with a lot of zeal. Perhaps a lot of aggression, most definitely. I am a aggressive speaker and I have no shame in it because I'm not here to necessarily offend you. But if my aggressiveness and how I speak to you offend you, I recommend that you pause this video and never look at my face again. Because honestly, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to kiss tail. I'm not here to pander. I'm not here to abdicate from telling the truth or making the truth into a more, let's say, digested version of what you can look for. Because what I'm saying to you in the rawest form possible doesn't work for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're grown men and women. We should be able to have conversations. We should be able to disagree. We should be able to understand each other's positions despite our disagreements. And it should never resort to us having to utilize our powers to try to silence people or censor them from being able to speak their minds. And apparently in the times that we're living in, this is where we're at. We're now trying to shut people up because we don't like what they say. We're trying to shut people down because of how they truly naturally feel, despite that we ask people to be their truest, most rawest selves. But that can't even be asked for because everyone is living by this PC culture. And this PC culture is what causes us to feel like unless you are speaking the way that we want you to speak, unless you are speaking the way we pay you to speak, we don't want to hear what you have to say. Both people of color and white people all have come to this mentality of you have to approach things and speak the way we want you to speak. If you want our support, if you want to hear if you want us to be your audience, if you want our entitled ears to hear what you have to say, we don't need you to be aggressive. We don't need you to be attacking and coming off mean and all this other shit. We just simply need you to be nice and play nice. Because at the end of the day, we're not really going to hear what you have to say, but instead we're just going to keep on nitpicking on things that really don't matter. Because at the end of the day, what you're saying to us, it's just one ear out of the other. It's like tug of war between your ears. Truth, lies. Truth, lies. And for them, they like tugging on this end. So all you're going to see is a lot of this. Trying to pull the truth over to their side. When the truth is stronger than them. Or so it should be. But it hasn't been this way simply because there's not enough people on this side that's willing to stick. There's not enough people on this side that's willing to tug their part and be able to say, we're not going to allow you guys to take us over. We're not going to allow you guys to control how we say things. Because to do that simply dilutes the message of which is being tugged over here. If we're going to pull people out of lies, we can't make them pull us back into it. See what I'm saying? So here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. You are on the BMB channel, Breaking Mental Barriers. I am here to simply, what? Break those barriers. Hopefully. Maybe we're all on the same page that are listening to this. Some of you are already broken your barriers and you're breaking even more. So am I. Just because I'm a 25-year-old man that can articulate and express himself and have opinions and bring out facts, it doesn't mean that I have all the answers. All it simply means is that the more that I have, the less I actually begin. The more I begin to realize, the less I know about this world, about our reality, about what's really going on. And it takes other thinking circles to be able to come up with a bigger picture, even if it's with circles we don't necessarily agree with. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult, but conversations need to be had. Doesn't mean that we have to somehow cut each other off. And what I mean by that is, does that mean we have to necessarily cut each other's, let's say, conversations off? conversation pieces. So like, let's say if I have something to bring to the table, you have something to bring to the table, but you don't agree with my perspective. And therefore my perspective immediately gets shut down. It doesn't even get the chance to even be considered or processed, or hell, even be practiced to see if it works. We're just going to cut it off because you're not important. So this politically correct narrative you have, that needs to be pushed. But what I'm saying to you, somehow that needs to be thrown to the side and disregarded because it doesn't mean anything. It's total bullshit. It's conspiracy. It's lies. It's this, it's that. Well, it sounds like to me, if only your perspective matters, sir or ma'am, then the only lie or so-called truth you're trying to push is your own. And there can be nothing else. This one-sided truth that you allegedly have. It's just simmering in people's minds. And so when they come out of the institutions that they're in believing this madness, they're like robots. This is all they know. This is the only perspective they have. It's kind of like what people say about people who are religious, who live in religious bubbles, and they haven't really seen the world for what it is. And when they look at the world, they look at the world from their religious point of view, but they then don't consider a lot of the gray area that exists in the in-between, religious and non-religious. So what you then have is a lot of people who just believe in dogma, but they don't really believe in perspective, reasoning, deducing of those reasonings. So you just have a person who's just reiterating whatever repeating in repetition, whatever they've heard. So the bottom line to it is this. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to raise hell. I'm here to speak my mind. Malik Washington will not be holding back, as always. I never have been. I never will. But I'm going to repeat that because that's what this channel is about. It's to give you perspective, to give you an angle, to guide you to a different form of thinking. Now, perhaps you already think this way, but if you don't, that's fine. You know, everyone has their perspectives. Everyone has their own brains. I need you to think. That's it. That's all. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with my position. But hear what I have to say. If it's not to your liking, by all means, go about your business, have fun, live your life. If it does heed to you, right? If it catches your attention and you hearken to it, then I recommend we become a community. I recommend that we talk. I recommend that maybe perhaps we can have a conversation personally. And me and you, we can dive into it and talk about our different perspectives. Perhaps this channel can grow. Perhaps I can grow and become even more. I don't know. I hope so. Because I realize now that my voice matters more than anything. And like I said, I hold no allegiance or alliance to anyone, left or right, conservative or liberal, you name it. I do believe in a higher power, and I follow that higher power's understanding of things. Perhaps despite the fact that it comes from a literature, yes. Despite the fact that this is the experiences of those of previous times who have proclaimed to have had these past experiences with this alleged creator. But I would like to get to know this creator from a more personal standpoint. And therefore, if I continue to follow by those rules of which this deity believes in, then perhaps I might also be able to petition for those blessings as well, which I don't ask for much, no way. I feel like everything that I have been granted is already within me. So at the end of the day, I am a God of my own life. And by that, I mean, I am not the true and living God. I'm just simply a God that is able to direct my own life towards the good or the bad in this life. I'm able to choose between right and wrong. Some of you would call it free will. It's that simple. Nothing too complicated. Not trying to ruin your religious beliefs. You can have it. I don't really give a fuck. It's your decision. But I'm here to help you out. And not only to talk about just spiritual things, but we're going to talk about current events because I have a lot I would love to give my perspective on. A hell of a lot. And it will not, I will not cease from what I say. It's just that simple. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reintroduction of this channel. BMB is back full time, and I'm going to be on overtime. Trying my best to put out as many videos and content as possible, because this is something simply I want to do, whether if it grows up to be something large and great, or if it's just something as simple and small, and it's kind of communal, but at least we all are from different circles and we're able to think for ourselves. But I will not tolerate disrespect. I will not tolerate bullshit. I will not tolerate unsubstantiated lies or claims or opinions that have no facts. So you cannot come to me and then just present something and then drive away. Because there are a lot of people who do that. They just drive by with comments and then they just go away. You don't hear from them ever again, which I find to be interesting, because somehow you give a curt answer. You think you done said something, and then I'm looking at you kind of stupid, because it's like you haven't really presented your case that well. You just came in, brought up a claim, and then you just like, see you. You're irrelevant. You haven't really done anything, sir. So have fun with that smart ass drive-by comment that you made, But this is the world. A lot of people are prideful. Everyone thinks that they know everything. A lot of people are cynical and arrogant. But by all means, do what you do. You're a human and you're being your true self. I expect you to be that way, because I'm going to deal with you according to how you deal with me. It's that simple. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end that right there. Starting tomorrow, I will bring up more content, and we're going to discuss a hell of a lot more. Tomorrow's content is going to be regarding, and I'm going to start back from where I initially wanted to start back into when I was going to come back previously from the intermittent period. But now that my little sabbatical is done, I'm going to come in full time and just simply talk about what I want to talk about. So tomorrow is going to be about Lil Nas X and his video Montero X. Montero. I don't know why I said Montero X. Forgive me. Disregard that. But the bottom line is we're going to talk about that video, what it entailed, why people were, what people's thoughts were, and then I'm going to give my take on it. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen the video, so you don't even have to do that. I don't have to create any reaction videos, which I wasn't intending to do in the first place. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to give my take on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Malik Washington, back at it again with another episode of the BMB. God damn it, that feels so good to say, because now I'm about to raise hell. So that's going to be the new slogan of this video. Actually, the new slogan of this channel. Breaking mental barriers. Breaking barriers and raising hell. Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Love you all. Have a good night.